Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tarot Today. My name is Adrien, and I'm here with.
Delphine,
Hello, Delphine. How are you today?
I am doing really well. I'm so glad it's the weekend. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. A little tired, but I have to say I'm happy it's the weekend as well. So we meet again today to finish this series on the court cards, right? Because I mean, for the people that are just joining us, we are talking about tarot, as the name of the podcast suggests, Tarot Today. And we are going to talk about the court cards, these four people that inhabit the realm of the cups. Um, how should we start this, Delphine?
Yeah, I mean, first, I think it's always like good to just remind everybody that it's like, we have pages, we have knights, we have queens, and we have kings. And Adrian and I have at this point like talked this to death, especially in terms of like, just the elemental composition that each court card represents. But I'm just going to do it one more time because it is the framework that we're using to understand these cards. So basically, it's like, I mean, we have pages, and pages always correspond to the earth element, knights always correspond to the air element, and then queens correspond to the water element, and kings correspond to the fire element. And then, of course, like we have the element of the suit itself. Obviously, today we're talking about the suit of cups, which corresponds to the element of water. So basically, the page of cups would be earth, a page of water, cups. And so basically, taking that, the Page of Cups is probably one of my favorite pages, the page that is closest to my heart, and that is because I find the Page of Cups to be so cute. How would you describe the Page of Cups, Adrian?
He is cute. For
Yeah, just adorable. Like I just love it.
I think in old decks he is cute. I mean, I'm looking at I'm more of a Marseille. I mean, I love old decks, but um, I'm more of a Marseille practitioner and user, and Delphine is more a Smith weight. And in both decks, he's cute. He opens up the cup, he looks into the cup, and the cup represents the heart. So it's that first look into the heart is that initial emotion, learning to feel, having a new emotion coming up, right? And if he's earth of water, how can we say that? It's within the hardness, something is softening. You could almost say.
Yeah, I see it as like a softening. I see it as an opening. Like, I mean, pages are more like invitations. They're not necessarily in the realm of pursuit yet. Like
Mhm.
pages are tentative, they're cautious, they're a little bit shy. Like, I mean, they're young. But like, but young doesn't necessarily mean immature. It's sort of like that first step into, stepping into your heart. It's, like I mean, I think of it like every single indie movie that's ever existed, right? Like, I mean, to me, it's just all very Page of Cups. Like I see it as like, somebody playing the acoustic guitar and like wearing a daisy crown, or
Yeah.
like making flower crowns in the park, or like, writing a love letter. I know that one of my best friends that I've had since I was a kid, he's now happily married and we're still, of course, great friends, but he was like my first crush and he was my neighbor. And oh my God, when I like hit puberty and hormones were like raging, I would write him a love letter every single day. I was writing this boy a love letter, and I would deliver it to his mailbox, and I'd be like, "Here you go. Here's your love letter for today." And he'd always be like, "Thanks, Sonam."
Ah,
And I Delphine. And yeah, it's just funny. Um,
but
but that's very
every day you would write a love letter to this boy.
without fail. And he
Yes.
saved them all. To this day, I think he still has them.
That's commitment. I mean, it's almost like yeah, this, this commitment. I don't know what to say.
I'm nothing if not a Pisces, Adrian. Um,
You need to merge. Yeah.
and yeah, and also like I mean, the Page of Cups is also very Piscean, very, very Piscean. Um, so, like the page indicates like emotional curiosity and like also the beginning of like emotional openness. And but all of this is just very tentative. It's like, I mean, if you can think of like, the outpouring of love that like maybe you have like when you're a child, it's like it's usually quite pure, right? Like, I mean, it's kind of just like that, like if you can think of like, seeing a baby or seeing a cat or a dog or whatever, and just like that feeling of oh, that happens in your heart, you know,
Yeah.
that that's the feeling of the Page of Cups.
The word that comes to mind is innocence. there's
Yes.
the feeling that's coming up is very innocent almost. There's something very fool-like in this card I find. It's that, oh, it's at first, those love letters you were writing to him probably were very um I don't think they were very raunchy. They probably were very of the heart of, everything was so well, Piscean, the way you put it.
Yeah. One time I wrote down the lyrics of Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On, and that was just my love letter of the day.
I feel a song coming on right now. Every night is like this, I see. So you can see we're in the realms of the pops. Here we are singing on this podcast.
Um, yeah,
Oh
it's
wow.
but also pages are invitations. So I often see them as like being a message or like, a message or an invitation or like maybe like planning a date or yeah, something like that. But also the other thing that I just want to say about the Page of Cups. Oh, what was it? I just had it. Um, oh, I can't remember. Sorry.
You said I want to go back to something you said, and I made a note on my little messy journal here. And you said the cups are an opening; they're not a pursuit. But then, for people that struggle with this idea of the court cards, if you think of opening, pursuit, inner mastery, outer mastery, these are our four figures, right? The page is an opening. The knight is a pursuit, a movement, right? The queen masters the inner aspects, and the king masters the outer aspect, right? So I think this is just a little reminder. I like this idea of opening, pursuit, mastery.
Yeah.
These three levels. And of course, we put the king and the queen on the same level because one is inner and the other one is outer. But there's this they're the
Yeah,
same.
two halves, two whole.
Exactly, it's two sides to the same coin. Like we said, this can be people. They can also be attributes. They can also be uh, um, uh, uh, elements of personalities, right?
Hmm.
So yeah. No, the pages, I like this. I think, I mean, in the Marseille, I'm going to show you. In the Marseille deck, the page opens up the cup and he looks inside the cup, which feels like you're looking inside the heart, and he wears this crown of daisies, right? You were saying about, playing the guitar and having a crown of flowers, right? This is exactly what the page, the valet, has on the Marseille deck with the curls, and, it's very representative.
Mm. I had my card sitting in a bowl of lavender. Um, I don't know how you cleanse your deck, Adrian, but one way that I really like to do it is I like dried lavender flowers.
You put your cards in dried lavender.
Yeah, and it cleanses them. Um,
I
uh,
like that. Yeah.
honestly, you should try it. I think it works better than smoke, and I think it works better than tapping. Although I tap mine too.
I like to. This is going to be the subject of another episode.
Yeah, yeah, we'll do something on deck hygiene and also just energetic hygiene in general.
Deck
But the,
hygiene. I love that.
but this is the Page of Cups in the Rider Waite. I just love him.
Yeah, he has the fish coming out of the cup, right? And the fish, I mean, is obviously water, and it's a baby fish, right? Because the king has a whale at the back, doesn't he?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, the small fish coming out of the cup in the page becomes the whale in the king. So then we move on to knight, the knight of cup.
Oh
He's,
my God, I love the Knight of Cups too.
yeah, he's represented kind of similarly on the Smithwaite or the Marseille. He's a knight with a cup on his hand. Uh, um, and it's yeah, I think if we think about the feeling in movement, it's like Delphine wrote a letter to her lover every single day with the lyrics of "My Heart Will Go On." The Knight of Cups would be taking taking the next step, right? Would be
I,
um, maybe the chap then saying, "Okay, let's go to Starbucks together."
well,
And
which by the way never happened. It stayed very Page of Cups. We never got to the night stage.
okay, oh, and how do you feel, Delphine, about this?
I was really bitter about it up until the age of 14. And then when I was 14, I got a boyfriend and then I didn't care anymore.
Good.
I got a different boyfriend who did take me to Starbucks.
Ah, nice. So here's what
This
nice.
Yeah, this is our classic knight in shining armor. Like if there was a knight in shining armor in the deck, it would be the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups is this is the pursuit. This is somebody that's charming and idealistic and you know, oftentimes I see the Knight of Cups as like quite charismatic as well, but like whenever he shows up in any of my readings, it's like I'm going on a date that I'm about to really enjoy. Hasn't shown up in a while. Um but yeah.
Yeah. So the Knight of Cups gives you his heart. Is literally has his heart on his sleeve, right? The cup is the heart. He has his heart on his sleeve. Is offering you that. He's going forward. He's walking. And but the things that the Knight of Cups, you have to see how is aspected around. Is the action going to be grounded in something real, or is it going to remain forever sort of offering, so you have to see that it's not because the Knight of Cups shows up that it's automatically the man of your dreams, right? Or the woman of your dreams in this case, because the court cards are not gendered. um so you have to kind of see that this is the emotion put in movement. Emotion in movement, or it's also maybe an artistic move, because the cups represents arts as well. Anything that comes from the heart, it's emotions, it's fluidity. So we have this idea of movement from the heart. We have this idea of religion and spirituality as well in the cups, right? So the knight could be putting this in movement.
Mhm.
Now, the idea of the knight in shining armor, I find that, of course, we all have, I mean, we all have, I'm saying all because I'm assuming that everybody has the same traumas and issues that I do. But I, I grew up watching Disney movies. And of course, for a long time, I grew up thinking and believing and wanting to have a knight in shining armor to come and save me and take care of me. And I realized that actually there is a point I had to be my own knight in my own armor, that I had to save myself. And I think the Knight of Cups here could teach you this, that um, in the realms of the cups, these four beings, these four figures, they're not necessarily four separate figures. There's four aspects of the self that need to be understood so we can find a sense of completedness. Completedness, is that a word? So it's
Yeah.
not just about the cups, it's about understanding all 16 court cards, that they all are part of us, and to understand this all aspects so we can be our own knights, we can be our own queen, and we can be our own kings, and our own pages as well, to dare to learn something new, to dare to try a new aspect, right? I think this is very important to realize that we can't be stuck into just one aspect, one figure, right? Does that make sense? I've been rambling on.
No, no, yeah, no, absolutely. I think that makes sense. Um, but also just like about the Knight of Cups, I just want to leave it with like a couple of more keywords because I mean, I usually do that or try to do that, and I didn't in this case. But invitation, courtship, declaration,
Mhm.
a declaration of love, or like a pursuit, um, like seduction, proposal, right? Creative quest, or just like an emotionally motivated journey
Mhm.
is oftentimes like what the Knight of Cups can represent. It's and I mean, like Adrian already said, it's like we need to understand how the Knight of Cups is like being aspected because like I mean of course with like any of the court cards like we understand their disposition, but like what are they doing with that disposition? Like I mean okay, so do we have like emotional movement? um what if that shows up with the Knight of Pentacles? Perhaps that's actually movement that's quite slow, right? Like
Mhm.
just really taking your time and understanding what you're going to do with all those feelings that like if you're wearing your heart in your sleeve, maybe you're wanting to move really slowly with that information, right? If the Knight of Cups shows up with the Knight of Pentacles, or perhaps if the Knight of Cups shows up with the Devil, right? Perhaps there's perhaps there's a feeling of being motivated by lust, or it could even be like in it's very negative interpretation. It's like it could be that the Knight of Cups, the Devil is kind of like indicating some like less than savory romantic patterning, right? Like maybe around possessiveness or control, jealousy, manipulation, maybe love bombing, right? Like, I mean, these two cards could look like so many things. I think that also one thing that people love to do is like whenever the devil shows up, it's always like, oh, this is going to be sexy. And it's like, and actually, sometimes it is sexy, right? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like the devil, I do read it positively quite often, but also it's like, I mean, the devil is the darker underbelly of humanity, and it needs to be respected and also read as such. So, like I don't like it when people take the devil too lightly because at the same time, like it is about that density, right? Like we're talking about density when we're talking about the devil. And density can look like a variety of different things, but like, the denseness of kind of those coarser human emotion. Um, anyway, now I think I'm rambling. Oh,
No, that's okay. But you see, cups, they put us in the flow of things and we just go on and on and on. But yeah, no, absolutely. I think you're also right with the devil. All cards have a dual, are they multifaceted and they have days where they are in a better position, they have
yeah,
better days than others, like we do. We have, some days we wake up feeling great and some days we don't, and the cards are the same way. And if I was thinking about the Knight of Cups, maybe with the Knight of Wands, you could think of, you keep making the same journey that's hurting you over and over and over, and think about the positive aspects of the Knight of Cups and the aspects that are not so welcome of the Knight of Cups, right? Because sometimes you just
mhm,
have to stop, get off the horse, have a little think, pull some swords so you can, think a bit clearer, so you can then, get back on the horse and make some healthy decisions.
yeah.
Um, how about the Queen? Queen of Cups. I mean, she is in her element.
She is absolutely in her element. We are in water of water here. So the Queen of Cups is the deepest emotional consciousness that we can reach within the court cards.
Yeah.
Um, and the way that I always see the Queen of Cups is the way that I always read her when she comes out in a reading is like, oh, like especially if it's like a reading for like a man, it's like, oh, there's your heart. She's your heart.
Mhm.
Or the Queen of Cups is like where your heart is. But regardless, she's the purest expression of the suit. She represents empathy, intuition, psychic receptivity, emotional memory, also imagination, um, compassion, and also profound relational understanding. She often knows what someone feels before they've even found the language for it themselves. She's very empathic, very empathic. As a person, the Queen of Cups is emotionally perceptive. She's gentle, but she's psychologically complex, right? So it's like, I mean, this is someone who can perceive maybe everything that's going on within you, but sometimes it's not an emotionally comfortable experience to reveal to someone everything that you see inside of them. And so sometimes it's just about holding that space, knowing that you like knowing or I suppose just communicating non-verbally that you understand or that you see them, and then just kind of holding that space. She's holding space. um and she recognizes contradictions between what people say and and what their emotional behavior reveals. Like, I mean, again, she's perceptive, she sees everything. And she may be into dream work, she might be a psychotherapist, she might just be your friend that you always talk to whenever you have a problem. But the Queen of Cups, her power is in her receptivity.
Mhm.
But she's not passive. I don't like it when people interpret her as passive. Um, yeah, so she creates an emotional space where truth can emerge. Um, yeah, I mean,
I mean, the idea
she
of
represents,
passivity. The idea of passivity, this is something I want to touch upon. The idea of passivity, if you think of it as the yin and yang, right? Within that is that symbol, right? So within the black, you have some white, and within the white, you have some black. Within. So I think if you think about passivity and activity, you it's more of an outer aspect, right? So the queen seems to be passive, but inside so much happens. It's the same thing with the high priestess, right? She seems to be passive, but all the work happens inside. Now, once the work has happened inside, the activity outside can take place. So then the king can then show us the activity outside, but that doesn't mean that nothing happens inside, right? So there's
Mhm.
always an aspect of there's always a dual aspect, right? In this negative, positive, active, passive, right? So even though the queen, some people say that she's passive, she seems to be passive, but she's completely in the flow and she's holding the space to be completely in the flow. Those cups, either it's in the Smith weight or the Marseille, are covered. The cups have they're closed, they are closed up. So they are protecting the emotions. There's something secretive that they have to keep something covered, something protected, so the flow remains, so they can keep holding the space, right? There's something very extremely nurturing, it's very deep, in the Queen of Cups.
And one thing that I just want to say on that, on the extremely nurturing part, because it's like she is really nurturing. But there's some people in our life where when we're going through a hard time, a friend will be like, "Oh, it's going to be okay," right? It's going to be okay. But we don't really believe them. We're kind of just like, "Oh, whatever, fuck," like sawed off, whatever. Um, but with the Queen of Cups, it's like, when she tells you, "Oh, it's going to be okay," you feel it in your heart and you believe her. It's like we all have that person whose words just kind of like cut through everything and they just kind of get us, like get to our heart, right?
Yeah.
And we believe them. It comforts us. Like there's that nurturing quality to it. um and that's like the power of the Queen of Cups, and it cannot be replicated.
Mhm.
It cannot be manufactured. The Queen of Cups is able to be this nurturing, and she's able to hold that space because she herself has gone through, whatever feelings, emotions, processes that she's needed to sort of like work through in order to, again, like she knows the feelings in you because she's experienced them herself,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Again, the deepest level of empathy that you can find. Um, and so I just think that sometimes the Queen of Cups is taken for granted. So that's why I just wanted to really push it in.
Yeah, but I think she has a depth of understanding of emotions that people don't realize how deep it goes. And this is why it's kind of, brushed over a little bit sometimes, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's because a lot of people actually don't have that emotional depth. Hot take. Sorry.
Pisces all the way. So, the king. King of Cups. I mean, I love that card because the cup is open there. In the Marseille, we can see the cup opens up again, right? So, but just it's measured. So the King of Cup has mastered these emotions, has mastered this ability to maybe give help to people. So it's not so much the nurturing aspect that the Queen has, but it would be more the advice giver that never really gets how can you say it? It doesn't get moved in the sense it doesn't fall over, when emotions gets a little bit too rough. He understands the emotion and he stays centered because he has mastered the inner aspect of the emotions, which was the queen, and now he's able to take it outside of himself, right? No matter how rough the waters can be, in the card of the King of Cups, in the Smith Waite, we can see the very rough waters. We see the whale at the back, but he's sitting on the throne of stone, and he can still, feel grounded, even if those emotions are a bit rough. Yeah.
Hmm. So the Page of Cups says, "Oh, I think I have feelings." The Knight of Cups says, "I want to follow these feelings toward you." The Queen of Cups says, "I know how deeply this connection affects me." And then the King of Cups says, "I understand what I feel, and I'm ready to take action with those feelings."
Hmm.
I think is the way that I kind of see it.
I think it's beautifully put. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that, like, the King of Cups represents also emotional mastery. But, he feels deeply, but emotion doesn't seize control of his judgment. Um, his strength lies in remaining emotionally present while deciding how or when or, whether he wants to act, or how the feelings should be expressed, I suppose. Um, yeah, so like as a person, the King of Cups is, hmm, he's like composed and compassionate, diplomatic and emotionally intelligent, very emotionally intelligent, right? Um, he can hold competing truths at once.
So
How
I
else would you describe him?
The King of Cups is really, as a coach, the King of Cups is what I try to always strive for, right? To understand the feelings, but you have them grounded. And so to be able to act as a mirror for people as much as possible. So I don't pretend to be a king of cups, but I try to embody the queen and the king of cups, in both ways, to be able to be the best coach that I can be, you know.
Hmm. It's
Um,
it's. I think that's like beautifully put because I would say that I definitely do the same with the Queen, and also like I mean, I'm usually Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups. I think that you are King of Cups, um, as well as what other.
I was waiting for you to say that. I didn't want to say
Yeah.
no.
No, I think that you very much are because it's like I mean, just by virtue of the work that you and I do, and like in just in understanding the tarot and like sort of relaying the messages that the cards have for others. It's like I mean, it requires that level of empathy and also just emotional understanding, and so it's like I mean, you very much sort of need to be in this space, and it's interesting, right? Because it's like you can only be a container for someone else after you have kind of like put your own feelings, thoughts, emotions aside. I think that's where things often go wrong in any kind of fight or personal disagreement between partners or friends or whatever. It's usually that two people are acting like children when one person really needs to be the adult, which at times can feel really unfair because one person is having an intense emotional reaction and then the other person just kind of has to put aside what they're feeling to kind of hold that space so that person can have that reaction and then kind of stop acting five or six or like whatever fragmented part of themselves is sort of coming out in that moment and then like healing that, recognizing that, seeing that, and then having an adult conversation. But it's like when you have one person that's six and one person that's like 35, it's like we're not going to reach an agreement. It's like I mean you need to get down to a 6-year-old's level and be like, okay, I hear you. Do you need candy? Do you need blanket? Like what do you need? Right. And so I think that's also kind of the power of the court cards is just understanding. Like, I mean, okay, yes, we have this giant emotional body, and yes, sometimes we're having our own emotional reaction to what is happening in front of us. But like understanding the emotional reaction or process of someone else, and then being able to hold that space while managing our own feelings, and then being able to integrate and
Absolutely.
rise above.
Yeah, I mean, gorgeous. I'm loving this cup episode. Oh my God, it's so much better than the coin one.
Oh my God, the Pentacles, Adrian and I, we got off the call and we were just like, oh God, that sucked. And then we are like, okay, bye. Talk to you next week. And like, yeah, so Adrian and
The
I are very comfortable with the energy of cups. Water sign.
No, I love what you described. I think I want to add something that the holding the space and the containing, the cup contains the water. The water is the emotions. And for those who don't know me, my son is in Aquarius, and my son is in my 10th house, right? So when you think about what I do for a living, which is being a reader, being a coach, being a teacher of tarot, is that I hold, as an Aquarius, I hold the space, I hold the emotions for people to work this out, right? And that's in my 10th house, which is the house of achievement, right? So when I say that I try to always, I strive to be the King of Cups. I don't want to say that I am the King of Cups, because if you say I am, I've arrived, there's a sense of, you don't need to strive for it anymore. And I always try to embody and try to understand the qualities of the King of Cups, so I can, as best as possible, offer this to clients and partners, and because I feel like this is kind of also what my chart is telling me, and so there's something very beautiful about this holding the vases of the Aquarian that holds the water, and that can be worked out, and then when it's all worked out, we can get rid of the water that needs to be gotten rid of, type of thing. So the King of Cups is something, I used to think myself as a lot more airy, which I still am. I think there's really something, I've got a big air aspect, but with like I said, with my Aquarius sun in my 10th house and a moon in Cancer, I tap into these watery energies very strongly. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, we're not here to talk about my chart, but this is how I can really.
No, 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 I love it because it's like I no, 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 but I think that it's relevant because it shows other people kind of like how they can relate their astrological chart sort of to the court cards because these do have astrological associations, so it does matter. Um, I, on the other hand, I'm a puddle, I'm an ocean, like I am water.
A puddle. We're
Wha-
going to call you
wha-
ocean, not a puddle, sweetie. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
no, I appreciate that. Thanks. Um, but I think that we've really covered it. I think we've really covered it, and I think that these are beautiful quotes, and they're just about understanding and expressing our feelings. And if you take anything away from Adrian and I, please express your feelings more. Not enough people do it, and it would probably do humanity a world of good if everybody was more in touch with their feelings. Just remember that feelings exist for a reason. They're meant to be felt. They just want expression. And if you deny your feelings, they will hold themselves in various parts of your body and you will get ill. So please feel your feelings. It's really not that scary.
Absolutely. There's something,
Public service announcement.
there's the last thing I want to add is that emotions is energy in motion, right? So we
Yeah.
have to understand that feelings have to be put, we can't contain, we can't, energy in motions. It's, you have to direct it somewhere, you have to understand it, or you have to transform it, whatever it is. But you can't not express, you cannot not feel. This is part of who we are. This To close this series on the court cards, remember that these 16 cards represent the entirety of human
Expression,
psychological
emotion,
expression.
psychological
Exactly. So,
expression. Yeah.
you might be more comfortable with some than others. Like obviously, we're more comfortable with water than with the pentacles aspect. But there's a reason why we're not comfortable with some of it, and the thing is that we all have to ground our emotions. We all have to think about our emotion. We all have to act on our emotions. So, this is, the cups with the pentacles with the swords and so on. They all have combinations and they all have to find a way to coexist or inform each other, right?
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to add, Delphine, before we close?
No, I think we really covered it, and I think that we covered it well.
Great, superb. Well, goodbye, everyone. See you next week.
See you
Uh,
next week.
And we wish you a gorgeous, gorgeous week. Bye, everyone.
Yep. Bye.